and that hasn't happened. And then the other thing is that all the left says, well, you can't conflate the AG and the president. They have to have a firewall. How dare? Come on. Who do you think Bobby Kennedy was? He was the Attorney General when John Kennedy. You ever seen those pictures about every 5 minutes they're walking together? He didn't do anything unless John Kennedy. Who do you think John Mitchell was? He was the bond lawyer for Richard Nixon. Who do you think Eric Holder was? Why do you think that he said he was the wingman of Barack Obama? Why do you think he defiantly refused a congressional subpoena and he knew he had complete exemption in a way that Steve Bannon, for example, or Peter Navarro didn't? Because he knew what Obama would say. He would back him. So they needed somebody, what I'm getting at, independently, but to investigate the misuse of the federal government to go after people. And people are getting frustrated. They didn't do anything with the IRS under Obama that went after targeted groups on their political affiliations right before an election. They didn't do anything for Operation Crossfire Hurricane. They didn't do anything for Clapper and Brennan lying under oath. Exactly. If anybody believes that James Comey for 245 times an FBI director said he didn't remember or didn't know while under oath, and that's not lying. And they didn't do anything they should have indicted Joe Biden's ghostwriter when he said to Robert Hur, I just erased that subpoenaed oral transcript. I was worried about hacking, so I just took it upon myself to destroy federal evidence. When they were doing the Mueller investigation, they were missing all sorts of FBI phones. Remember that? They turned them over and they said, oh, I don't know, somebody erased them. And when Andrew McCabe said, don't worry, he's not going to be elected, we need an insurance policy. They had it all. And then Durham was a very good guy, and he was very thorough, but it was just a nothing burger. And so people got really frustrated. They got really frustrated when Fannie Willis got up in that stand and lied her head off that, oh, it's a black thing that I use cash. How dare you suggest I should have receipts? Or she used federal monies for at-risk use to go after Trump, or that crazy Alvin Bragg shoehorning or bootstrapping or whatever you want to call it, a minor federal offense into a state mega felony. It wasn't even an offense. So what I'm getting at, there were all these indiscretions and nobody in the Justice Department ever seriously did anything about them. And yet when the Democrats were in power, my gosh, I'm not asking the Republicans to appoint a Fannie Willis or an Alvin Bragg or a Jack Smith or Letitia James, but my gosh, I think people get very frustrated, Jack, because they saw all of that lawfare, get him off the ballot, raid his home. They're not asking for that. They're not saying we should be like that, but what they're saying is these Democrats did all that. It was all illegal. It was all politically inspired. We're not asking to go down to their level. We're just asking to hold the people who did something wrong accountable, and we're not doing that. At this time, we're not doing that. The Democrats said, when we get back in power, hello, I'm Susan Rice. We're going to go after all of you. I'm James Carville, and I just say, you better be careful, because as soon as you get back in there, you're going to get the Trump family. We're going to get the Trump family spouses,
And Victor, if I may, a backdrop to this too, it's not Pam Bondi's fault, but you see these judges in Minnesota who are giving these pathetically tiny sentences to these terrible fraudsters. So you think, how come these people are getting away with it?
And I think you're absolutely right. I think that
yeah, well, it's similar to when you think of when these investigations go on, these punks and individuals, these horrible abusers that are getting away with fucking little kids and killing innocent people, and then trying to pass it off as to any other investigators or citizens who may have whiff of it, as though they're just getting rid of the dangerous Karens, non-vaxxers. I don't remember back when they were saying we're going to kill other people for being non-vaxxers, bring back measles. Right, people need to start realizing this. So then, when people try to call that out, they're like, no, look over there. Right, because the punks that are committing the worst crime, as you can see, you can't arrest them. You can try to shame them, and then that just creates more profit and disdain upon innocent people. I know the ones that profit from it are like, yay. Right, and then when they start to lose deals or not get the gig they wanted, oh, it's because they're, trying to bring us down. They're talking bad about us. They destroyed our reputation. I know, and then they bring people to court and get away with defamation cases. It's crazy. Right, so I mean, let's do a different level. Think of the catalytic converter stuff. And these people, these rich, usually Jehovah's Witnesses and activist type people, we used to call them gooks and goons. Yeah, right. Why would we call them gooks and goons? Sometimes they get called Packies. Pac-Man. I don't know. Why? I don't think about it. It's not that hard. Right. So they pay those idiots and druggies and kids to go around stealing the catalytic converter, stealing the copper wire, spray painting, burning a book, whatever the fuck they can get the idiots to do. And so, yeah, they're getting arrested for robbery, disorderlies, graffiti, right? You can get arrested for that. It's destruction of public property in some cases, unless you're getting paid and funded by taxpayer money to make the place look better. Yeah, they can write that up pretty easy on, was it ecclesiastical value or something? I don't know. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It looks nice. Oh, the pretty flowers. Right, so then when people try to point out the ones paying those kids, the ones peddling the drugs and the bullshit to them, the fear propaganda, right? I know, and then people who try to speak the truth get called blasphemy. Don't listen to them. You really are a woman. God is real. The aliens are real. They're lizard people. Run. They're gonna make you eat maggots. These fucking child prostitutes, pedophiles, politicians, what? Where are they? Why isn't anyone getting arrested? I mean, they are, really, when you look at some of these cases, especially down in Florida. Have you seen some of those? I know some of the busts they do, it's like 200 arrests. Corrections officers, teachers, street people. Wake the fuck up. Yeah, it looks a little different in different neighborhoods, doesn't it? So yeah, then when you try to call out the frickin' Jehovah's Witnesses and activists that pay the gooks, goons, and packies to go around doing all that shit because they don't know any better, and they grew up in the public school systems and they realize everything is fucked, and they did all that and they were good and went to school every day and got good attendance and got good grades, and now they get to go where? Work at McDonald's, all right, and deal with what? Excuse me? I know, if they had implemented the job programs, like we said, you'd be done with all that. Interesting, huh? And you'd have housing and a car, you wouldn't have to worry about that. You'd have a card, just like your Social Security card. I know, they've done this in other places, and it works out really well for them. I know, and then they make fun of the poor people and look at how horrible and dirty and stupid they are. It's cute, isn't it? Yeah, it's real cute. But do you get what we're saying? Yeah, so then you try to point out the Jehovah's Witnesses and the activists that are paying the gooks and the goons, and they're like, you're not going to listen to them crazy people, are you? Get the ones stealing the converters and spray painting. Get them. You're not doing your job. Defund the police. Yeah, and it cycles through this quite a bit, like our whole lives, so you're not going to tell us shit. Yeah, we were put on the programs when we were 18 in the year 2000, you racist, fucking nasty pieces of shit. So anyways, yeah, my name's Mary. We're in Augusta, Maine. I have 4 children here. My youngest 2 are in the hands of sick, murderous pedophiles. Name's Michael Scott Garan, born 6/22, 1984. And him and his sick mother, Shirley, are 2 of the sickest, most abusive people I've ever met, and it horrifies me, knowing what my children had already been through. In 2017, I was horrified. It's one of the reasons we went to Canada. And when you understand how those wires get crossed and you see the people in the State Departments and what they think, right? See how it's the same thing? And everyone puts their own little beliefs to it as to what they think people are doing and believe. And it's like, yeah, when you actually talk to the horse, you're like, these people are fucking crazy. Help those kids. Oh my God, they got bit by the zombies. Oh no, Trump, man, his feet are swollen and he's bumbling. Run! They're gonna make you eat maggots! Come on, Alex Jones, what the fuck are you doing? Do you want to help get the pedos and help our children? Or do you want to protect them? Because that's what you've been doing in a lot of these cases. Point blank. I mean, I can't call it any other way, can you? Yeah, maybe. Maybe if you're motivated by other factors, but see, we're motivated by love, life, beauty, helping bring clarity and understanding. That's what we're motivated by. And I'm telling you, the wrath of God isn't always beautiful. It can sound profane and horrible. Have you ever read the Bible? An encyclopedia. How about Mockingbird? To Kill a Mockingbird. You ever read that? Grapes of Wrath. No. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Oh,
So I
pretty
think all that's a part
flower.
of it. And then I know that there's
You're
a lot
welcome.
of
Thank
Democrats who are
you.
disinfected.